The hidden blueprint of obsession. Have you ever looked at a woman and found yourself spiraling into a loop of does she or doesn't she? You're sitting there replaying every single interaction like a movie director analyzing raw footage. You think about that one specific smile she gave you, the way she laughed at a joke that wasn't even that funny, or the subtle way she touched her hair while you were talking. Yet, despite all this evidence, you still feel completely stuck in the dark, paralyzed by the fear that you're just imagining the whole thing. This guessing game is where most men live, and frankly, it's where most men lose. They wait for a clear, logical, verbal confession that never comes. And while they're waiting for her to say the words, they miss the mountain of psychological proof standing right in front of them. The reality that most men never grasp is that female attraction doesn't usually travel through the logical part of the brain. You're looking for a yes or no answer, but she's communicating in a language of instinct and subconscious triggers. When a woman is truly, deeply captivated by you, she won't always have the words to describe it, and often she isn't even aware of it herself yet. Instead, her interest leaks out through high level psychological signals that are impossible to fake. These aren't just signs, they are biological responses that bypass her conscious filters. Her body and her subconscious start broadcasting her obsession long before her lips ever do. Think of this as an invisible blueprint. While most guys are focused on the surface level flirting, like emojis or text response times, the high value man looks at the structural foundation of the interaction. You have to understand that when a woman's internal radar locks onto a man she finds magnetic, her entire behavior profile shifts. She moves from a state of polite neutrality to a state of emotional investment. Once you learn how to read this blueprint, the fog of uncertainty completely vanishes. You stop being the guy who wonders if he has a chance and start being the guy who knows exactly where he stands. This isn't about hope or vibes, it's about clinical observation of human behavior. When you master the ability to spot these hidden triggers, you gain a massive advantage in the dating world. You'll stop chasing women who are indifferent and start leaning into the ones who are quietly obsessed with you. You won't need to ask for reassurance or feel anxious about where the relationship is going because her subconscious will be giving you the answers in real time. By the time we're done breaking this down, you'll see women in a way you've never seen them before, and you will never have to second guess her true feelings ever again. Segment 1: Emotional Displacement. The first and most powerful sign of obsession isn't what you'd expect. It's not a soft compliment or a playful wink. It's a phenomenon called emotional displacement. Most men make the mistake of thinking that if a woman is interested, she will be perfectly nice and sweet all the time. But that's actually a sign of indifference. When a woman doesn't care about you, she is polite, calm, and predictable because you aren't affecting her heart rate or her nervous system. She can maintain her cool because there is nothing at stake for her. However, the moment you enter her emotional radar and she starts becoming crazy about you, that composure completely shatters. You become a disruption to her logic, and her brain begins to struggle to maintain control over the intense feelings you're triggering. This is why you'll suddenly see her become unpredictable. You might notice moments of random irritation where she seems bothered by something minor you did, or sudden flashes of jealousy when another woman's name is mentioned. You might even see bouts of nervous, high pitched laughter at things that aren't even funny. These aren't signs that she dislikes you. They are signs that you are affecting her on a level she didn't plan for. Her brain is literally experiencing a glitch because your presence is so magnetic that it's overriding her ability to stay neutral. She's no longer in that polite zone. She has moved into the obsessed zone where her emotions spike and dip because of you. You have to pay close attention to the energy in the room the moment you walk in. If she was laughing with friends but suddenly becomes quiet, or if she was calm but suddenly starts fidgeting with her jewelry or fixing her hair, you have successfully displaced her emotional baseline. Even if that energy feels like tension or a bit of friction, it is a massive indicator of deep investment. A woman who is obsessed will never be neutral around you. She will feel like a storm of different emotions because she is fighting a losing battle against her own attraction. When her cool disappears, it's the clearest proof that she is already yours emotionally, even if she's trying her best to hide it. Segment 2: Behavioral Mimicry. The second sign you need to look for is subtle behavioral mimicry, which acts as the psychological fingerprint of deep attraction. This is one of the most fascinating aspects of human psychology because it happens entirely on an involuntary, subconscious level. It is a biological syncing process. When a woman is captivated by a man, her brain begins to view him as the alpha of her environment, and she will unconsciously start to mirror his movements, his speech patterns, and even his energy levels. This isn't a deliberate game she's playing to get your attention. It's her subconscious mind literally screaming, I want to be like him because I want to belong with him. Her body is trying to create a harmonious bond with yours before she even realizes she likes you. To spot this, you have to become an observer of the small things. Watch her body language closely. If you lean back in your chair and 30 seconds later she leans back too, that's mimicry. If you take a sip of your drink and she immediately reaches for hers, that's the sync in action. It goes even deeper than just movement. She will start adopting your slang, using your favorite phrases, or even matching the tempo of your voice. If you speak slowly and calmly and she drops her usually high energy tone to match yours, she is signaling that she is mentally and emotionally locking into your frequency. This is her subconscious giving you a green light that is far more honest and reliable than any words she could ever speak. The reason this is so vital to recognize is that women simply do not mirror men they don't value. If she isn't attracted to you, her body language will remain independent or even closed off. But when she's falling for you, her brain is rewiring her entire behavior profile to match yours. She is effectively trying to become a match for your soul. If you notice that she's tilting her head the same way you do, laughing a split second after you, or picking up on your specific gestures, you are witnessing a woman who is quietly obsessed. Her body is broadcasting a magnetic pull that she can't ignore, and she is already deep in the process of centering her entire focus around who you are. Segment 3: The Subconscious Litmus Test. The third sign is perhaps the most misunderstood and misinterpreted phase of attraction: the psychological test. Most men experience this and immediately get frustrated, thinking the woman is being difficult, moody, or manipulative. They think she's playing games, but in reality, the opposite is true. When a woman is genuinely obsessed with you, her biology forces her to check if you are as strong as you appear. She is moving toward a state of total emotional surrender, but before she hands over her heart, her subconscious mind demands a safety check. She needs to know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you are a solid, unshakable pillar who can handle the intensity of her emotions. She isn't trying to push you away. She is trying to see if you can hold your ground while she pushes. This testing shows up in subtle, almost invisible ways that can feel like tiny challenges to your authority or your ego. She might drop a teasing comment that hits a little close to home, or she might ask a probing question about your past or your other female friends just to see if you get defensive or rattled. She might even create a small moment of friction, like being a few minutes late or disagreeing with one of your firm opinions, simply to observe your reaction. If she didn't care about you, she would never waste the mental or emotional energy to test you. She would just be indifferent. The fact that she is probing your boundaries is the ultimate compliment. It means she is vetting you for a permanent role in her life. She is searching for a man who is unreactive. someone whose confidence doesn't crumble just because she threw a little curveball his way. To pass these tests, you must understand that they are markers of her obsession, not punishments. When she challenges you and you respond with a calm smile, a witty comeback, or a grounded silence, instead of getting angry or insecure, you hit her attraction switch with massive force. You are proving to her subconscious that you are a high value man who cannot be easily manipulated or shaken by outside pressure. Every time you remain composed while she probes, her respect for you deepens and her obsession intensifies. You become magnetically indispensable to her because you represent the emotional stability she craves. By the time you've successfully navigated a few of these litmus tests, she stops wondering if you're the right man and starts feeling an undeniable, deep seated need to be near you. Segment 4: Invisible Prioritization. The final and most revealing sign of total captivation is invisible prioritization. This goes far beyond the obvious things, like her agreeing to a date or texting you back quickly. This is about the way she begins to silently restructure her entire existence to make you the center of it. It's a transition from liking you to devotion, and it happens so smoothly that you might miss it if you aren't paying attention. When a woman is obsessed, she stops seeing her time and her resources as hers alone. She starts seeing them as tools to be closer to you. You will notice her subtly shifting her schedule, moving around her gym sessions, or happening to be free at the exact time you mentioned you might be grabbing a coffee. She isn't doing this as a favor she expects credit for. She is doing it because her internal compass is now permanently pointed in your direction. The most shocking part of this prioritization is her mental storage of your life. An obsessed woman becomes a walking encyclopedia of your preferences, your stories, and your habits. She will remember a tiny throwaway comment you made 3 weeks ago about a specific brand of tea you liked, or a childhood memory you shared in passing, details that you yourself might have forgotten. When she brings these things up or acts on them later, she is broadcasting that her mind is constantly processing you, even when you aren't in the room. She is investing her most valuable currency, her attention, into the smallest details of your world. This is the hallmark of subconscious devotion. She is no longer just participating in the interaction, she is building a world where your needs and happiness are at the forefront of her thoughts. You will also see this prioritization manifest in social settings through what I call the shield. If you're in a group, she will naturally align herself with your opinions, defend your character if someone makes a joke at your expense, or highlight your achievements to others as if they were her own. She wants the world to see you the way she sees you. At this stage, the attraction has reached a point of no return. She has effectively stopped looking at other options, not because she has to, but because her mind has already found its center. She exerts a kind of invisible gravity around you, making sure that your presence is the most important factor in her day to day life. When you see a woman sacrificing her convenience, her comfort, and her mental space just to ensure she's in sync with you, you're looking at a woman who isn't just interested, she's completely, undeniably captivated.